how to complain about the EHCP process itself. So this is for people who are in that needs assessment phase, who haven't yet got an EHCP. What are the timelines? Well, the needs assessment request must be agreed or declined within 6 weeks. The assessment must be completed and finalised. So EHC plan finalised within 20 weeks. And for annual reviews, after an annual review, you must get the decision within 4 weeks from the date of the annual review meeting and the final plan a further 8 weeks. So those are the key timelines within the process. And if your local authority missed them, those are the things you can make a complaint about. You can't make a complaint beforehand. You can't say, I think you're going to, you're not on track to. You have to wait until they have and make a complaint after the event. But if they do miss any of these EHCP timelines, it's the same process. It's the formal complaints process to the local authority. Like I said previously, it's not a magic wand, but it is likely to mean that they will prioritise your case. I mean, that's unfortunate for the other children who are waiting, whose parents perhaps don't put in a complaint, because it is more likely to jump yours further up the queue. You won't get an answer tomorrow, but things are likely to go a bit quicker.
Yeah. It is that thing, the squeaky door getting oiled first, isn't it? I mean, yes, we know that there's a lot of EHC N As that are going over 20 weeks, and we know that a lot of that is because of difficulties with getting assessments, particularly from education psychologists. But you still need to be onto this all the time. Don't wait until you are in a position that you're thinking, oh, actually, am I at 6 weeks? Am I, whereabouts am I? If you're not sure, check. This is why we say on our needs assessment webinar, make sure that you know the date that your request went in, because that's where your 20 weeks starts from. You must make sure that you are keeping on board with all of this, because otherwise, if you've lost track, then you can't hold the local authority to account.
Yeah, and nobody within the local authority will. I see people all the time. I've complained to my caseworker 17 times. It's a waste of time. Yes, remind your caseworker. Yes, keep a good relationship with your caseworker. Yes, hassle them. But ultimately, it's not a complaint to your caseworker. It's just slight annoyance. You've got to formally complain using the local authority's complaints process. Again, if you use the local authority's formal complaints process and you've exhausted it, you've been through stage 1, you've been through stage 2, you're not happy with the outcome, you can go to the local government and social care ombudsman. If you're one of those people who sat 43 weeks, 47 weeks waiting for an EHC plan to be finalised because of the local authority's failings, the local government ombudsman is likely to name and shame your local authority and issue you with some small compensation. Just as I said previously, the only other option for complaining about the process, yes, some people go to their MP, they'll write a letter to the local authority. MPs do not have any authority. They will file it away with the rest. They don't have any authority over a local authority. It's a totally different political system. It can be a help. It can be like another tiny niggle, but it's not going to solve the problem on its own. So, yes, go to your MP. Specifically, it does make you, it certainly highlights MPs to the problems at a national level and is more likely to bring about, the more we complain to MPs, the more likely it's going to bring about national change in the long run. But it's probably not going to be the one thing that's going to move things in your case. Like, the two things to remember if the local authority are not meeting timelines is, 1, use the formal complaints process. 2, the other option is judicial review. However, all the things I talked about before about the pros and cons between judicial review and complaints process stand. The only time I think I would spring straight to using judicial review are at phased transfer. And that's because the local authority have to finalise phased transfer EHCPs by the 15th of February for most children, the 31st of March for others. These are children who are moving on to the next phase of education, into school or into secondary school or into sixth form. And for those, time is of an essence, because they're going to end up with no school place in September if the local authority don't finalise naming a school place. So if my local authority hadn't finalised my Year 6's child's EHCP by the 15th of February, I would be looking at doing judicial review as soon as possible. Those are the cases when it's likely to work, those really difficult ones.